goes. The first negative. So my opponent talks about how ISIS poses a threat due to their funding and how they have a $2 billion funds in assets and in money. So I'm going to combat that, saying that ISIS does have $2 billion, but that only amounts to 0.83% of the spending. To like in comparison to the U.S., the Guardian posted an article that says ISIS ISIS is even further in the shadow of the overall amount of the U.S. spending. Calculated 2013, ISIS cash and assets would cover just 0.83% of this amount. So in comparison to U.S. spending and the amount of money we have, it's clearly not a threat since it's really small. And in comparison to the amount of money they have, which is $2 billion, it would, The Guardian also posted saying a 140 M1A1 tank is roughly about $5.97 million per tank. So if you compare that with the $2 billion, it's not much. Also, in regards to their funding, the U.S. Treasury can cut down on spending funding for ISIS. The U.S. Treasury, Time Magazine recently said the U.S. Treasury recently confirmed plans to try to bankrupt the militant group by targeting its oil business and imposing sanctions. And also, if the U.S. and allies continue to just do airstrikes on oil facilities, the group will begin struggling to fund itself. Recently, the oil production went down from 20,000 barrels per day from a high of 70,000. That covers funding. Secondly, my opponent talks about the increase of power. If we don't attack, there's going to be an increase of power. There has been progress countering ISIS. Just today, there was an article posted by where is it? By CNN News. It says that the coalition fighting ISIS has killed more than 6,000 fighters, including half of the top command of the terror group. So there has been progress, and they have been cutting down on their amount of people, their militia. Thirdly, he talks about the hostilities. Created and how we're responsible for it. There are hostilities in how ISIS targets the Western Hemisphere, and there is hostilities, but we shouldn't get involved as much as sending ground troops. I'm blanking out, sorry. There has been attacks, from our recent attacks, there has been that attack where there were 6,000 casualties that were part of ISIS, but the Daily Beast posted how the Pentagon officials admit that no one will ever know how many have been slain according to civilians, and if the U.S. continues to attack civilians, there's going to be a civilian hostility towards the U.S. rather than ISIS. So there's going to be a backfire on that. Lastly, I'll direct how it's our moral responsibility to stop ISIS. The Iraqi forces are capable of handling their own war. CNN News posted how joint Iraqi forces now have control of the Tikrit military hospital as they continue their offense to liberate the city from ISIS. So there has been progress in that, and the Iraqi can do that on their own. The US has to take into consideration how many US lives will be at risk if we were to go on an all-out war against ISIS. And that's about it.